Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. We've got over 450 audios for you to check out, and I had said 500 this weekend. Somehow my statistics were way off. Anyway, 450 for you to check out. Hopefully something you like. Please feel free to reach out if you're dealing with emotional challenges or things that you want to change in 2021. There's two ways to do that. You can contact me on Twitter at PO Perception or the About Me section here on this YouTube page. You can go over there and click my website and get information that way. In any event, we're going to talk about things that a highly sensitive person can relate to. These are individuals who struggle with emotional kind of balance. Highly sensitive people make up about somewhere between 1 in 7 to 1 in 5 people in Western culture, according to research. And so these are individuals that process emotion differently, and thus dealing with social situations can be harder. And there's 5 to 7 things I want to run through in this audio. These individuals don't do well in noisy situations. The overstimulation of a noisy situation can actually be physically and emotionally painful. It can lead to panic disorders, anxiety attacks, and other forms of frustration. It can also lead to physical symptoms like heart palpitations, sweaty palms, racing heartbeat, difficulty with shortness of breath, and all sorts of other things. That's because the noise actually triggers the mind to overthink. The next thing is picking up on others' emotions. This is also known as empathy or being an empath. A highly sensitive person is more likely to do this, and it's almost interlinked with their thought process. So while a person is thinking, while a person is considering ideas and concepts, they're almost picking up on the other person's emotions instantaneously with their own. Therefore, it becomes extremely difficult for an individual to know what's theirs and what's another person's. And until one finds a way, working with a mentor, working with a counselor or a coach, working through online videos, or a combination of all of these, it can be extremely difficult to figure out, how one can find balance and all of that. The next one is difficulty with sleep. So, generally, people that are highly sensitive will have kind of a lighter sleep schedule and kind of fall into a lesser form of sleep. In other words, be woken up very easily, have difficulty falling asleep, may struggle with insomnia, and then what I call the crash cycle, which is how my brain has decided to work for almost 30 plus years now, which is I will be up for many hours, sometimes as much as 24 hours at a time, and then my body needs, let's say, 4 to 6 hours to crash. Now, the quality of sleep I get during that time probably pretty good because I'm like dead to the world, but living for years in that way changes your metabolism, it changes your ability to focus. You have to modify your schedule because keeping a more traditionalized schedule is virtually impossible for folks that struggle in that way. The next the next thing there is kind of dealing with emotional imbalances and sensitivities when one is hungry. So if you're extra hungry, you might get angry or irritable. You might get sad. You might get frustrated. You may even start to act immaturely, like I must eat now, and you almost become kind of a zombie. Like until you eat, things are virtually like the world stops turning, and this can be. It doesn't even matter what you eat or how much. Although sometimes the need to actually physically take a break to be able to eat is another layer of that. Um, Saying yes when one wants to say no is another problem for HSPs. So, in their mind, they're thinking, I really shouldn't do this, and they have all the reasons. But the fear of conflict and the fear of the face to face nature of the conflict causes a person to say yes when in their head and heart they're saying no, and then the overpromised aspect of it, in other words, being at a place where it's like I've overextended myself way too far, and this is not workable. The last is attention to detail and focus on detail. So there, an HSP is a person who is looking for ways to make the life easier, which also means they're looking at things at a deeper level than the average individual will, and that can be problematic because a person is looking for kind of, what did you mean versus what did you say? What is your goal versus what are you working on? So the bigger picture thinking, which can actually drain a person if they're not used to doing it, and or if they are a person who does it but they don't realize they're doing it, can be very overwhelming. So hopefully this is helpful for you. I encourage you to reach out if there's anything I can do to be of assistance. Keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Till next time, everybody.